Hello everyone, FordSVT Gaming here, and with another episode in Simraceway. Here I am in the 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 302, which, in my opinion, is one of the greatest cars ever made. The muscle car that that protested the stereotype that American cars could not handle, or muscle cars cannot handle. Just kidding, that was the 2012 one. This one came way before that interpretation of muscle cars existed. So, as you can see, everything in usual Simraceway style is done to the highest quality. You can just see the wood grain, everything is not like patterned, it's really real. And the leather, everything is textured, which is quite nice. Here we are in the normal view. Outside, beautiful as always. The car itself, if I turn off these, okay. The car itself is not very quick, and I mean, it is a vintage American car, no matter who makes it, even Ford, and it doesn't have a lot of grip. Normally, if you try, like, here we get into the corkscrew right here, I bet you I'll probably slip. Yeah, there we go. At no point in time. Hello? I apologize for that, everyone. Yes, so at no point in time can you fully throttle out while turning. You have to go half throttle at most if you're in a turn, because you'll just end up slipping. You can power out, though, at the very end of the turn. So here I'm braking, here's about half throttle, here's about half throttle, and I'm powering out now. So, sort of like that. Of course, as I said before, the car is beautiful, at least in my opinion, my humble opinion here. I mean, you're supposed to take opinions from a little kid? No. But I think most people agree that this is a beautiful car, whether you are an import fan or an American muscle fan, or whatever. Euro is classified as import. Just to show you an example of the unstickiness in this next corner, I will push the car to the limit. Here. There we go. That was 65 miles an hour. A lot of cars just stick during that. Simraceway's new driver, I don't really like him because he looks kind of creepy. I mean, okay, the cars before were drones, but still, not too sure about him yet. Yeah, so the car, it sounds great. The brakes pretty well. The lights work. Hopefully, I mean, of course. This thing is slower than its rival, the Camaro Z28. No, the 1967 Camaro RSSS in a straight line, but in the corners it performs much better. So, like, I've compared them using artificial intelligence driving, and that is more even than me biasing that the Ford would be better. I mean, the Camaro is faster overall because the Mustang just can't make up for what it loses in the straights, in the turns. But in the turns, the Camaro, if it was like maybe Shinjuku, I don't know, it requires a lot of acceleration, but this car brakes and handles a lot better than the Camaro. So, yeah, pretty much, the car is not slow, not fast either, a handful, generally, especially for people who don't use, like, traction control or anything. I use let's see, assists here on the side. I use invulnerability, automatic transmission, only in cars where I would just, you know, slow cars or cars that actually have automatics in real life. This is one of those slower cars, so I put on the auto. I use ABS, automatic braking on low, and automatic clutch because I'm lazy and I'm a wimp and I can't drive very well. There's enough things to focus on without having to use the clutch, especially with something like this. It's a real handful to drive. Now, of course, I've gotten so used to spinning out in this game that I have a plan on how to recover from a spin, which generally they only work when you're going at a higher speed because the cars tend to straighten themselves out. I don't think that the shadow should be entirely square, but hey, I couldn't do it, so. Yeah, the car, I mean, you can tell it's pretty well made. I mean, the modeling job, as I said before, and, I mean, Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca is pretty legendary, and this Mustang, the race version at least, had quite a few wins here. And that's why they named the 2012 Special Edition Boss 302 the Laguna Seca. They do have the 2012 here, in-game, but they do not have the Laguna Seca Edition, which I found somewhat disappointing, but then who cares? It's a Boss 302, it's still fast, it's still a great car, it's still plenty of fun to drive, as most cars in Simraceway are. And that's pretty much it, so I'm just gonna stop right here, and then bring out the new Boss, the 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 302. I'm not a particularly quick driver, so that's that. Yes, I am muscle car racer, Mr. Beer. Probably didn't want to know that, but I don't have a lot of credits or anything because I spend most of my time here in practice mode. I want to try a different circuit because circuit. Jesus, I'm British. Oh, we can go Daytona International Road Course. It's pretty nice. If you can hear that, it's my dad. He's doing some little things. I don't know. Again, loading screen, pretty well set up. Information about the track, name, useless hint, the track symbol, and track map. So once this thing loads, we'll take off in the new Boss 302, and let's do this. This car, for some reason, the interior is strangely decorated. Well, not strange, but the fact that it makes everything darker in here. Like a dark horse. Jeez, Katy Perry sucks. Yeah, so here, nothing special. On the outside here, take a good look at the car. It's a different Calypso Coral than the other Mustang, but this one actually does donuts because it has a little more power and the differential isn't picky. I can do burnouts, but now that I'm using this F710 controller, it doesn't let me do burnouts for some reason. I don't know why. But let's go here. Okay. So I'm in pit lane right now. Just gonna go right out in the track because there we go, full throttle. As you can probably see, this car is a lot faster than the other Mustang. Switch it up here. There we go. Now you can see the front of the car. The beautiful front. and you press 3 to do that. I don't know if I told y'all already. So here we are on a pretty big straight here, and then turn. I didn't slow down for that, so I went off. This car actually is, in this game, is pretty slow. I know the real car is a little bit quicker, but relative to the other vehicles as well, it is pretty slow. I mean, it's fast, but it's all relative in this game. And this game features, you know, like Conan Sega Geras or GT2 race cars, Formula 1 cars. So in the end, most street cars, I mean, normal street cars and older cars are pretty slow. Camaro ZL1, that's pretty slow. Renault Alpine, that's pretty slow. Bentley Continental Super Sports, relatively slow again. Jaguar XF, I believe I have, and I have the big sedan, not the, because that's the only one I could buy with credits before the price change. Yeah, so we're just nice lap here on Daytona International Super Speedway road course. So I don't know if you could still call it a super speedway then. I wish they would have Talladega. They have like nothing tracks like Martinsville. Which, I mean, okay, we still race on and we still love Martinsville, but why couldn't they just do Talladega? Like, I'd rather go fast than go slow. Unless it's in a mud pit. But then still going fast in a mud pit is hilarious and fun. This car's got a 6-speed manual transmission. I'm doing auto shifting right now because, I mean, I'm shifting right now manually because, well, not anymore, but generally for the vehicles that do have semi-automatic transmissions, or like as an ability, because I select automatic transmission in some vehicles, and in some vehicles you can shift, and others you can't. So some of them have semi-autos and some of them don't, and this one is one of those that do. And it doesn't really matter on whether the vehicle itself is a manual or automatic, because I've seen manual cars like the BMW 1M, which I set to automatic transmission, and then I can't shift, and then there's vehicles that have automatic transmissions, and I can shift in them while in automatic mode in the game. I know that was probably a little confusing, but yeah. So I normally manage a lot of downshifting because this game's automatic transmission intelligence is not intelligent at all. I mean, but sometimes I feel a little lazy and just go into normal, yeah. So, as you're experiencing, this Mustang is pretty quick around Daytona. Not really. But then, there's yeah, so. It's got plenty of character, it understeers just like the real version. Well, this one's kind of a love-hate relationship. It understeers and then oversteers. Like, I can drift it too, but not well. Alright, so after we finish this lap, I'll wrap up this video and with my thoughts on both vehicles. Not like I haven't said enough already. But, yeah, so these cars, both of them, the old and the new bosses, are, you know, slow because they're not race cars, they're not professionally tuned anythings. I mean, alright, never mind. SVT is pretty professional. For the new one anyway. They didn't have SVT or SBO even back in the day. So yeah, I think that this car is, I mean, quick in relative to some of the other vehicles. A lot of the older vehicles are really slow and can be outdone by this. A lot of the imported vehicles from Japan, like the MX-5 or the Toyota Supra, can also be outdone by this thing. And a lot of, you know, other vehicles too, but in general, it's not super quick. It does 0 to 60 in I don't know how many seconds, but let's see. Go. 1502.3. Okay. I can't look at two places at once, so yeah, and then the old boss, of course, slower, older, harder to handle, more fun to drive, actually. And I believe that will wrap up my thoughts about the Ford Mustang Boss 302. It's pretty quick, I mean, not pretty quick, but good looking Ford. Yeah.